Welcome back to the Rocket League Film Room. A-Dub here, and today we're going to do something a little bit different that we haven't done before. We've got Matt here with us. He has submitted a replay, and we're actually going to do kind of a live commentary where me and him go through his replay, and I'll try to point out things that I think maybe he should do better, and he'll sort of give me his mindset and what he was thinking, and that might help him to learn or pick up on things a little bit quicker. So this is a solo standard game. He is superstar, I believe. Oh no, you said you just hit champ, right?
Yeah, at the point of this replay, I was superstar. A few games later, I was able to get to champ. So this is roughly superstar division 4 and 5. I think there was one champ on the other team.
Gotcha. All right, so me and him are both watching on our own PCs, so we're just gonna start at the same time. So if you're ready,
Yep.
I'm ready. So ready, and I'm going. You got a nice little waffle on the back of your car here.
Thank you. I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah. All right, so there you get a little pop, but that guy rams you, so you couldn't follow it up.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Not really anything you can do about that. So here you're just rotating in. So that one thing there, and I just paused it at 20 seconds on the replay time, not the clock time. I think you could have possibly beaten him to that ball if you had just gone straight away, because he was kind of flipping. If not, you might have been able to at least challenge it. That's just something to keep in mind. It's fine that you went for boost because you were able to get back and rotate and make a play on his next hit, though.
Yeah, and in this case, I felt my other teammate was there.
Right.
I didn't actually take a look around, but I thought I heard him, so I assumed he was in the better position. So what I felt like I needed to do there was get back, take the boost away from the guy who's rotating onto offense, and possibly try to play it off the wall.
Right, and that you did a good job of that. So let's see. I'm at 25 seconds. If you want to start from there.
Yep.
Okay, so let's start it again. So here you're rotating back, grabbing boost. That's all fine. Yeah, so this first goal...
I tend to get afraid of those, though.
Right,
when they're coming at me with a dribble.
Yeah.
I saw both my teammates to the side there, and I thought maybe one of them would go for it. I wasn't sure if anyone would need to challenge that or not.
See, that's one of those solo standard things where you don't have comms, so you don't really know. I'm at 35 seconds, and I zoomed out, and you and the other guy, Neeby, I don't know how to pronounce that, you guys don't see each other, which is part of the problem because you both have ball cam on. And so if you look, you both are like hoping the other one challenges, and he drives up the post, so he's kind of not going to be able to do anything here. But yeah, if I were you, I went back to about, let's see, on the time, I'm at 29 seconds, or not 29, 33 seconds. I saw him drive by you, so I know he's behind you somewhere without looking, because you didn't look during the replay. I would have just turned and probably challenged it right away. And
yeah, I don't think, looking back on it, I ever actually did see him.
Yeah, you didn't, definitely from yours. At 30 seconds, 32 seconds, you can see him driving back. But as you were coming back, you couldn't see him from your point of view, if that makes any sense. I don't know if you're able to see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. I think possibly one of the things I could have done is, because it was pretty safe in their half, maybe at that point, before he even gets a chance to establish his dribble, I should try to attack that.
Yeah, like I paused it at 35 seconds. That's the point I would have turned and challenged it. You were already kind of turning, and he didn't really have his dribble yet at that point. He kind of didn't get it until at the end where he got the little flick. Of course, it might have still ended as a goal anyways because your teammate drove up the post.
One thing I really think I either need tips on or need to see more examples of are my face-offs. I tend to just try to go for a neutral face-off. Hopefully someone's cheating up.
Yeah, there's a really good tutorial by Johnny Boy. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
I can definitely send you the link to that, where he shows you how to win kickoffs and like what the strategy is behind it. After watching that, my kickoffs got a lot better. Okay. So there you just kind of side flipped.
Yeah, I'd misjudged it off the wall and
Yeah.
aborted right away.
Yeah. Happens. It's a good hit into space. Just giving your team time to get back. I don't think you had boost yet because you were going back to get boost. There was kind of an awkward hit. I'm sure you probably would have liked to hit that a little bit better.
Oh, definitely.
Stealing the boost, that's always good. I have to sort of ingrain that in a lot of people that are like in the challenger ranks. They don't have the concept of stealing boost yet, especially if they're already moving that direction.
Yeah, whenever I am running out in midfield and I know we have control, I try to go for their boost.
Oh, nice little redirect dunk there. Seems like you're playing pretty safe, like you're not overcommitting, which is really a good thing in solo standard. At least until you figure out your teammates' tendencies. Like a lot of times.
And I know. Sorry to interrupt. I know there's my mindset is normally to play more passive, and usually results in me missing offensive chances where I probably could have been able to cheat up, but I didn't because I felt like I had to be the one back.
Yeah, there was one that I saw when I was watching the replay, but I'll point that out when I get to it. Yeah, but so far, I mean, your rotation's been pretty solid. Like, I don't see you, like, super out of position anywhere.
It was unfortunate I missed that boost there.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I can tell now. Sometimes I get that boost glitch where it doesn't show in the replay. There, I think you could have blocked that a little bit better, but...
I tried to put it up the sidewall.
Yeah.
Just didn't get the hit I wanted. Hit a little more back into him.
Steal the boosts, that's good. Oh, he bumped you. Oh. Oh. I paused it right there. Obviously, you weren't trying to do that.
Yeah, I didn't see him until it was too late. He definitely had some nice what a save spams there for me.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, people get pretty salty in solo standard, but like I paused it at 348. And I'm going to zoom out here to try and give you a picture of like what I would have done. So obviously you didn't see him because you ran into him. So what I usually like to do real quick as I'm coming back on defense is switch out of ball cam, and I've seen you do that plenty of times throughout the game just to see in front of you. And unfortunately you didn't do it there, so you ended up hitting him. But where I would have probably positioned myself if you had seen him, I probably would have stayed more midfield because you already have two teammates back. And of course, if you hadn't hit him, he was already going up for this, I think, or he was starting to. And then you kind of have to go for this awkward aerial because I think it threw you off, like when you hit him. If you know
it was definitely a panic moment. I knew I booted him out of the way, and I needed to take his position. I think I assumed at that point when I was rotating back that he might have been in our corner going for boost. Yeah. Which is why I was trying to take that side of the net position to contest an aerial.
Gotcha.
But
yeah, the best.
As you saw, I just booted him right out of the way.
Yeah, I mean that happens in solo standard. But the best advice I can give you is just try to switch off ball cam, like as you're coming back, just to try to get a quick picture of like where your teammates are at, just to try to prevent that from happening. Either that, or you can use like your swivel camera. Those are the two things I usually use when I'm coming back on defense.
Yeah, that's definitely something I try to really be aware of in solo standard. I have a little bad habits of playing with friends when I know where they're at. I know if they're on defense or not. So playing more solo standard, sometimes it's not ready at my reflexes to take a quick peek around.
Absolutely. And part of the challenge with solo standard too is being able to adapt. People give solo standard like a bad rep for not being good for improving your game, but it really teaches you to learn your teammates and like, fit the missing piece. So if your teammates are really aggressive, then you have to be a little bit more passive, and vice versa. So I mean, I don't particularly like solo standard, but that's something that I've gotten out of it, and I feel like it's made me a better player. I don't know what you think about that, but that's
Definitely
one of the reasons I play it.
It's helped a lot, to even with my own teammates, being able to read your team in solo standard definitely helps you give that edge with your friends, because you tend to realize once you start playing with them more the types of shots they usually go for and the types of connections they make on them. And playing solo standard where there is no communication, you got to be ready to follow up, and it gives you that split second edge when you're with your own teammates to kind of know what's going to happen before it does, and not having to rely solely on communication.
Oh, he just missed, really.
Yeah.
I think there you might have been able to take a... Oh, yeah, this was the play that I saw where you just kind of were like in an awkward spot. So going back to... And keep in mind, they can see my screen, so even though if you don't know what I'm talking about, at least the people that I'm showing this to know. And you can always go back and watch it, and it'll probably make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that right as you were saying it. Whenever I get caught in these positions where I'm initially pointing towards offense to try to do a follow-up, and the ball pops a little higher than I want, I would go on the retreat, and I don't really know what to do. What's the safer move at that point when the ball starts coming at me and I'm driving away from it? Yeah, and I know it's not easy to give a general, hey, if this is the situation, do this, but I don't know if that's a situation where I should have just went straight to net, or maybe I should have tried to do a double jump and just contest the ball.
I think the problem there isn't so much that... the problem there really is that you got put into that situation because of kind of what happened before. So I went back to about 417, if you want to meet up with me there.
Yep, I'm there.
Okay, so you're kind of on the wall, and I'm going to zoom out because I feel like it'll be easier to see the rotation here. You've got a teammate, Gneeby, who's midfield. He's sort of the third man back here. You just hit that ball, so that's why you're kind of on the wall here in a weird spot. And if you play it and watch what happens, you cut across the field. And that's something you really don't want to do. I know you were probably going to steal their boost, but if you look at your formation now, it's a straight line instead of more of like a triangular shape. And that's something I really try to teach people, is that you want to maintain sort of like a triangular shape, whether you're on offense or defense. It's one of the stronger things you can do to maintain possession of the ball. And because you cut across the field here, you lost that shape. And I don't know if I don't think you got that boost. I think
no. My plan, looking back at this, because this game was recent, it was tonight.
Right.
I could definitely tell you that at that situation, after I hit the ball, or after my guy missed the shot, I cut across for that ball, assuming that Gneeby was kind of in the midfield rotation spot. Okay. So I did not think he was going to beat me to that.
Gotcha.
And so that definitely put us all three of us up in that corner, which led to me being stuck on the wall.
Right. That's understandable too. I mean, also there was a chance that might have hit off the post and bounced back in the middle, and you would have been there for it. But Gneeby was the third man back, and I think he was right pushing up for this. And ideally, if you had taken more of a rotation down the middle and then came over to the mid boost, and I'm at like 420. If you wanted to look with me, I'm just flying around in fly cam here. Then after he made this pass, you would have already been in the middle instead of having to turn around, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So like when that ball got hit over your head, because you were kind of just late rotating, and you're like, oh crap, I need to push up because we're still on offense. And then you're like, oh crap, no, he hit it over my head. And that's why you got put in that awkward situation where you were driving backwards.
Yeah, going back and seeing this on Flycam, I definitely thought, based on the way we were all playing together before, that Gneeby was kind of just holding midfield. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, that's why I went to the corner. I tried to just cut off a ball. Maybe then, if I were able to block it, Gneeby would get that rotation while Escarion was going back, but
Yeah, that
it's definitely one of the plays where communication would have been very helpful.
oh yeah, for sure. And I think like what you said would have worked if Neeby had stayed where he was at. But just like a general principle, obviously doesn't apply to every situation. But you don't want to cut the field in half when you're driving, when you're rotating. Of course, there's always exceptions to it, but that's really so far has been the only instance that I've seen you make sort of like a poor positioning error. I mean, for most of the game, you've been pretty solid. So,
I thank you for the compliment.
no problem. So I'm at 428. If we want to go ahead and start from there.
Yep, I'm right there.
Okay, I started it. But luckily, they didn't score on you off of that.
It's definitely happens a lot where I get caught in that position and ends up in the net.
Yeah. So that was a good contest. He was there to challenge it. That almost was a goal. And then I think you just kind of misplayed that ball off the wall, maybe not reading the bounce all the way.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my weak points is reading wall bounces. I knew the time was low and I had to make a play.
Yeah.
I thought that might help, but
If
I
you had
whiffed
hit
it,
that,
so.
for sure it would have helped. So I don't fault you for going for that at all. You're getting pretty nice touches on the ball. I think right here you would have really liked to have made that.
Yeah,
It's tough.
remembering that, I have 0 boost right now. I had no more boost left to get that last inch correction.
Right, you're really close. I just paused it like right before the ball went by.
I could have sworn too when I was playing this that my car made a sound. Actually, it did. If you go on the replay,
I heard it. I think it might have been from his car though. I don't know. You might have ghosted it a little bit.
oh, definitely. I get a decent amount of packet loss on my amazing internet plan. So sometimes I jitter a little bit. My client sees me hitting the ball, but not the server.
Like with the level you're at now, being superstar champ, a lot of your mistakes, like you said, are just like little positional or maybe little mechanical mistakes where you had the right intentions, you just weren't able to pull it off. There's not a whole lot to really comment on as you get up to higher ranks because, I mean, you know how to play the game at this point. You have a significant number of hours. But I guess some of the things that maybe you could focus on, the cutting across the field, definitely don't want to make that a habit. Even if you think it might be a good idea, usually it's not. I get called out for that too. I've had solo standard teammates call me out. They're like, A-Dub, stop cutting the field. And then it's like, oh, I didn't even realize I was doing that. But sometimes...
I didn't even realize that was a thing,
yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah, I've had people say that to me. Actually, might have been yesterday. Someone told me that, and then I realized I was doing it, and then we ended up winning the game. So little things like that, maybe you don't realize at the time, but just positional mistakes like that can hurt you. The other thing is, do you have the Rocket League trainer by chance, or have you ever used it? Or do you know what it is?
I don't. I know what it is. I've never used it. Just kind of with the nature of being at work and stuff. I don't have a whole lot of time to just go in and practice.
Gotcha.
So I just play the game.
Yeah. So like, just suggestions for improving your reads like off the wall. You don't even need to get that, but like a lot of times what I used to practice was I would just hit the ball off the wall as hard as I can, and then I would jump before it hit the wall and try to make contact with it. Because usually what people will do is they'll wait until the ball bounces so they make sure they don't miss. But if you can be a step ahead and already know where it's going to bounce, then obviously you're going to beat them to the ball. And as you get better at the game, really it becomes just about how fast you can do everything. So getting faster at the game is like my number one goal, being able to do everything faster.
That's definitely what I've been trying to do. So some of the hits or the attempted hits where I remember you commented, it's like, oh, you did a side roll there, or
Yeah.
I started going up for it and quickly went back down. It's because I was able to tell right away that I had the angle wrong. There's no point trying to overcorrect at that point. As soon as I got the angle wrong, I lost.
That's good though, being able to abort when you realize you're going to miss. Like I've done some analysis for some people that are a little bit lower ranked, and I've tried to tell them like if you know you're gonna miss, don't waste all your boosts like trying to correct. Like just abort it and save your boost. But
it's kind of with 50-50s too. There's some times where I bait them into a hit, or at least I attempt to, where I know I'm gonna lose it. I know I'm gonna, say the ball hits the ceiling and it's coming down,
yeah,
and where it's gonna be played off the ground. It's not an aerial. I'll start to go for it to force them to make a quick terrible hit and recoil immediately. Like no, have no intention of hitting the ball,
yeah,
but forcing him to make the first move and recovering it.
yeah, that's a really good strategy to have. That works in 1v1s too. But yeah, like your number one goal in 3v3 is to try and challenge or contest every ball. And if you can play a little mind games or like you were saying and get them to make a bad challenge and then take advantage of it, then obviously you're going to be in pretty good shape. All right, so that's going to be it for this replay analysis. This, again, is something that we just kind of decided to do on a whim. We didn't have a whole lot of planning behind it. But I think you probably noticed a couple of things that you didn't know that you were doing before, or maybe some things that you can try to focus on in the future.
Hopefully. Yeah, definitely. I realized cutting the field is... I'd never heard anyone use that phrase. I've never seen anyone bring it up, but thinking back, I actually do that a lot. I do a lot of straight line lateral movements, mainly just to try to beat somebody to the ball. But like you mentioned during the replay, when that happens and I fail it, I'm in a terrible position.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes down to just trusting the rotation, trusting that your teammate has a better angle to come towards the ball. Because if you have to cut across like that, more often than not, your teammate is pushing up to you behind you, and you'll end up running into each other or something. But yeah, so hopefully you're able to take some of those ideas and apply them, and maybe see a little bit of improvement in your overall Rocket League game. So thank you guys for watching, and if you have any more replays that you want me to look at, I'm down to look at them. I know you sent me another one, so maybe I'll take a look at that as well. Maybe we can do another one of these, or I can just do it offline. Either way, we'll figure it out. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again next time.